Welcome to Chicago Bears 360, keeping it a buck with Coach T.
Contra.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
Welcome to Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. So one of the first things you're going to see is Coach Laser, Bill Laser, has pretty much taken out the RPO game and went with a more power game. So here you're going to see we're going with 13 personnel. That's one running back and 3 tight ends. And this is just to get us going forward, right? This is just straight up bully ball. And what it's going to force the defense to do is adjust its personnel. Now, one thing about defense is they can't match the bully ball kind of mentality because they have to keep a certain number of basically skill position players on the field. So while we have 3 tight ends over here, they can't come back and counter with 3 additional linebackers, right? They're usually going to move a safety up into the box, right? But they still have to play small versus big, right? So you're still going to have corners, you're still going to have smaller players up here, and they're going to have to come up into the box and take on these bigger blockers. We're counting on us to win every time. So we clear this up, kind of let the tape run forward, and that's just simple bully ball. And as we say in football and coaching, there is no adjustment for I'm just bigger and badder than you. Again, same thing here, 5-man protection with this particular offensive line. If I'm going to go with the regular base 5-man protection, 2 guards, 2 tackles in the center, I want to make sure the wide receiver routes match the protection we have. So with this particular offensive line, again, we're only doing about 5 to 7 yards. That means I want to make sure that my wide receivers or a couple of wide receivers are breaking right about that line right there and giving Justin's a couple options. Let's let this play out and see how we execute here. Another way Coach Laser has corrected the Bears offense, again, if you go to my previous videos, I harp on the 5-man protection matching the wide receiver routes. So whatever you do right here has to match the length in the route, distance that they're taking. The wide receivers are running on the route. So in this case, say we're on the 35, 36, 37. For 5-man protection only, you're expecting the wide receivers to break about right here with this particular offensive line. Now, other offensive lines can get away with maybe wide receivers running a longer route, getting down the field a little bit more, but with this particular offensive line, their limitation is this particular line right here, right? They're within 5 to 7 yards before their pass protection begins to break down. So if we clear this up, you can see the execution. You want to get this ball out quick with this particular offensive line, 5 to 7 yards, no more than that. Get something quick breaking, get the defense thinking. So 2 additional changes that Coach Laser has made to the offense that I really like. One, he's using the whole field. So a lot of offensive coordinators will kind of draw this, they will have this kind of tic-tac-toe on their call sheet. And what you want to do is make sure throughout the game that you're attacking every area of the field. You're keeping the offense balanced and you're attacking every zone of the field, right? So you want to have a toss to get to the outside of the offensive line. You want to have a quick hitch. You want to have something that gets to every area of the field. And one of the things Coach Laser does is doing a good job of getting into it. I would like to see a little bit more quick screens at hitches, but he got there in the simplest form and fashion possible here with quick toss. And he did this. So you'll see he went with a kind of shuffle toss here too to Godwin. And this is probably here where I would have gone with probably a quick hitch because you just came off another toss before. So, and again, you're trying to get to the outside. So if the goal is to get to the outside, right? If the goal is to get on the perimeter, then he could have gone with like a trips here. He could go with a trips right by moving Godwin here. Watch how the defense responds to it because usually defenses, they want to zone up when you're in the red zone. right? They usually want to zone up while you're in the red zone. So normally they won't be in man-to-man coverage in the red zone. So I would have put Godwin out there in trips, right? And then when I went to with a quick hitch or some quick screen out there to see if you can get to the outside real quick. I just thought I like the idea of getting outside, but I just thought that, they ran one. So another adjustment Coach Laser has made is, I know everybody's been hard on Cole Kmet, right? Wondering where Cole Kmet is, saying that he's a bust and stuff like that. But I want you to keep an eye on the tape. This is why watching the tape is important, right? Coach Laser sends Cole in motion, and one thing that Coach Laser has committed to is 6-man of protection. So 6-man is the 5 offensive linemen and the tight end in the protection scheme. This is going to allow the wide receivers to get downfield more for bigger plays, bigger chunks of yardage, right? So as we were saying with 5-man protection, where 5-man protection with this particular line is limited in distance, 5 to 7 yards, 6-man protection is going to allow us to get down the field a little bit more and make bigger plays downfield, right? So you're going to see Cole committed to the protection scheme right here, right? So this is going to add additional blocker, right? So if we roll the tape ahead, this is going to add an additional blocker to the protection. Pause it. Add an additional blocker to the protection, and then Bill's going to go with play action. Now, what Williams' job is when he comes off the corner, he's still going to check, right? So this might have been 7-man protection. So he's still going to check with Jason Peters to see if he's handling his man. If he has man under control, he's going to get out here in the flat. That's 7-man protection. But the play action still makes the linebackers pause and take care of their run responsibilities first, right? So they have to check up with this play action and take care of their run responsibilities first. This allows space for Darnell Mooney to get behind him because they have to check up run. This allows space for Darnell Mooney to get behind him. Smart design by Coach Laser. Let's see kind of how it plays out. But I want you to pay particular attention to the protection here, right? Where's Cole been? Cole's not a bust. Cole is helping with protection. Now in this formation, you see us getting back to what seemed like it's going to be our bread and butter in the run game. But what you're going to see this time is, instead of us having 2-by-1 tight end setting in the 13 personnel, right? 2 on one side, 1 on the other side, you're going to see the motion Cole. And you're going to have all 3 tight ends on one side of the formation. And again, the weakness of a 3-4 defense, right, is right off of the edge. Where you want to go and attack this defense is right off the butt of the tackles here, right? So again, smart game planning and smart call installed by Bill Laser and Coach Nagy, right? And the conflict it creates for the defense is, again, you're going to have a linebacker, corner, kind of a safety mainly versus, 4 or 5 guys that are bigger, stronger, and heavier than they are, right? It's really not really sexy football, but it's really straightforward bully ball. And you see how again, this seems like something simple, but Coach Laser is using the entire field when he's calling plays. So remember that grid in your mind, right? Remember that grid in your mind, that tic-tac-toe. You want to make sure you're attacking every area of the field. You want the defense to defend all 53 1/3 yards horizontal and 120 yards vertical, right? And you want to make sure that they keep this defense spread out so you can get downfield and you can find openings in the pass game. Here we have it again. It's no secret. The Chicago Bears, we're coming downhill with 13 personnel. I see 1, 2 tight ends. I see 2 tight ends and maybe even a third, right? We're coming straight downhill. There's no guessing. We're just bigger, badder than you. Adjust to it, get on the train. What I want to highlight here is by Bill Laser is a commitment again to helping the offensive line and protection. So you got the core 5 guys right there, but you also have tight ends right here on the corners who are going to chip. So that's essentially 7-man protection. And even lining those guys up in this kind of tight, loose spread gun formation, it forces the defense. It forces these outside linebackers to really think about what move they're going to use, right? The simple fact that they have additional bodies right there, they're thinking already, hey, I'm getting double teamed. So the speed rush to the outside is not there, right? Because we have an additional blocker. And then the power move to the inside is not there. So they have a saying in coaching, a thinking defense is a slow defense. So what you have basically is 7-man protection right here with the chips, right? You got the 2 tight ends. And what this is going to do again is allow that additional time we've been looking for. Instead of us taking the quick 5 to 7 yard routes, right? Because we have 2 additional men, you can actually add distance to the route for each man in protection and try to hit something more downfield, right? So you're going to see as this play plays out, right? The additional men in protection, right? Now watch this. Cole engages first, right? And I believe this is Jesse James engages the outside linebackers or the defensive ends first. The tackles are sitting here secondary waiting, right? So again, a lot of talk about where is Cole been. Cole is actually in pass protection, helping blocking, helping his teammates so we can get some passes downfield. So if we clear this up, watch the protection. They're still blocking, and now they're in the routes. Now they're releasing in the routes. But by this time, wide receivers are down the field.